in Bangladesh, the saying made in China, made in Indiana has been around for as long as I can remember, but it hasn't been quite true for the last decade and a half. In fact, everything we use nowadays, including the device you're watching probably, is likely made in China. And over the years, we have been swapping our usual Western selection for Chinese made ones, or rather Chinese branded ones, and because their quality and acceptability has been rising. But cars are a whole different ballgame. Sure, the Chinese cars are packed with tech. They are far more affordable than their uh, Japanese and even Korean counterparts. But do they stand up to the test of time? Well, we got one here, and its owner, who's been driving it for 3 years. Let's see what they have to say. This particular example is a Cherry Tiggo 8 Pro. Up until very recently, the biggest car Cherry Bangladesh used to offer, and it's owned by none other than Mustafin Bashar, the famous host of Cars in Conversation.
Now, while I'm sure most of our audience know who he is, here's a little bit of introduction from the man himself.
So I'm Mustafi. I'm the host of Cars and Comedy. And actually, on a young age, I've been into cars. I've been a big follower of almost the models. So, and in fact, it came from my father, who was still a very big car. Um, so yeah.
So, when did the car bug beat you?
Actually, that's actually a very hard question to answer. But I think since a very young age, I believe age 4 or 5, at that time my family আমাকে অনেক ডাইক আছে car কিনতে। So I believe ওইখান থেকে the following for cars started from there, and also there were many top tier magazines and whatnot. So ওগুলা দেখে দেখে আস্তে আস্তে I believe the car, the car love started from there.
Alright then, let's move to the vehicle. Why a Chinese car? Why a Tiggo 8 Pro?
Why? So in fact, this is the same thing I was asked during the time of purchase. I was asked by everyone, my family, even myself. I asked myself, why this? আসলে এখন আমি answer পাচ্ছি, but ওই time answer টা পাই নাই. But if you think about it, at that time, it was actually quite hard to find a 3-row SUV crossover at that time, and at this price as well. If you think about it, I can find MPVs, S-Squares, Novas and whatnot. আমার নিজের একটা Pajero কেনার খুব ইচ্ছা ছিল ওই টাইমে, but because of the high fuel, অনেক তেল খায় obviously, and also high AIT as well, and also it's quite aged now, ওইটার কারণে আসলে ওইটা নেওয়া হয়নি. But at that time this came out, it was the first lot of the Tiggo 8, and it was a huge risk at that time. So আসলে alternative পাই নাই দেখেই we eventually had to settle for this. But I believe for now it was the best choice.
Surely everyone around you had opinion when they heard you're buying a car made in China.
Okay, so কিনার সময় obviously everyone around me, my friends, family and everyone else I knew was like, ভাই চাইনিজ গাড়ি কিনতেছেন, 2 বছর পরে দেখবেন এই সমস্যা ওই সমস্যা, পার্টস নাই, এটা নাই, স্ক্রিন নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে, চালায় মজা না. The biggest point for me for this car was the way it drove. It has a lot of tech and whatnot, but tech দিয়ে আমার it doesn't matter for me. The way it drives, the way it looks, and also the value it gives for the consumer. It's a 3-row, as in পিছনে একটা adult বসতে পারবে, because I've been to Khulna and Chittagong with an adult at the back. So I believe, আমাদের দেশে অনেকগুলো গাড়ি আছে 3-row, but in নামে 3-row, but actual purpose-টা serve করা হয় না. So I believe in that case that this actually helped a lot. But yeah, it's been 3 years. আর আমার স্ক্রিন নষ্ট হয় নাই, আর চালে এখনো মজা আছে.
Screen aside, how is the rest of the car? Did it live up to the stereotype, or is it just as good as the day you bought it?
Okay, so I believe the first around 3-4 months was a bit flimsy, because at that time the car hasn't braking ঠিক মতো হয় নাই, so it was a bit flimsy. Brakes were too soft, there was a lot of turbo lag, as well. And overall, it wasn't a great feel. But after it broke in, and after the second service, the car got a lot better, a lot smoother as well, a lot more refined as well. And also, যেগুলো আগে issues ছিল turbo lag, and also I mentioned question about so break-in আগে fuel বেশি খেত, but after the break-in and also after the second service, it got a lot smoother and a lot more efficient.
How is the after sales support? Are the parts plentiful or you have some horror stories to tell?
Allahumma Rahmatan, till now the service has been great, and also I've been impressed with the after sales as well. They have this new service center in Tejgaon, and ওইখানে in the ground floor there's all the E4 servicing and whatnot. But on the second floor there is actually a completely different space for parts, spare parts. So if something happens, Allah Mafruk, you stay in Bangladesh, accident wheel, there's actually all the fender doors are already in the service center for sure.
What about the color? It's not your average shade of Corolla white. Any problems keeping it shiny?
Yeah, the color is actually an issue now, but like at first, when we first saw the car, when my family first saw the car, they were actually in awe because the way it looks, দেখে first, এখন তো অনেক দেখা যায় that it's not actually that something you see on the roads. First, when we first saw the car, it was like, wow, such a good blue car. And the color helped us well. It's kind of a blue with a purple tint on it, man. It's a very different, unique color to have at this price.
How is the engine mileage, and do you find it a little bit irritating? It's just 100cc shy of the 1500 tax bracket.
Okay, so obviously, actual cc journey you're paying around 25k more. Sorry, around 20k more. So that's a bit odd. 1.8 liter hole, or it was a 2 liter, that was fine. 1.6 for 100cc, but that's okay. But in terms of efficiency, I believe in city I get around 6 kilo per liter, 6.5, and in highways I get around 11 to 12. আজকে আসার সময়, while coming from my home to here, I got around 10. So it's good. আমি যদি compare with other turbocharged SUVs and crossovers, it's actually doing quite well.
Any maintenance surprises, or everything just as it would be for another car?
Honestly, I feel as of now it's been quite pleasant. ওরকম কিছু surprising or কিছু হয়নি. It's been quite good. And honestly, I still have 2 more free services remaining. So after that, probably I'll get the idea of how much it costs to maintain the car, and as in how much is the service.
Do you think people's opinions have changed since you bought this car 3 years ago?
Actually, I do feel like over the past 2-3 years, the mindset has changed a lot. It's actually mainly because the cars are actually quite good. I think that itself is the biggest selling point of the cars. When you see them on the roads and you get good reviews from the owners. Because if you see, like, at this price range, there's actually nothing to buy on 45-50 lakhs. If you're looking for a 3-row crossover SUV, it's good to look at, good to drive. It's actually quite good.
Still, is there anything you wish this car had?
At this, I think at this price point, it's actually hard to ask for a few things. But I think in general, during the summer, summer now, but it's very hot. But I feel like if there was heated and cool seats probably would have added more value. But although the face has a cooled and ventilated seats, so I think that would help the seats. But yeah, I wished this one also had cool seats.
Planning an upgrade?
I don't know yet. এখনো কিনার plans করি নাই as of yet, because this actually has been it's been giving me great service. So আসলে change করার কোনো এখনো time বা কিছু আসে না।
Any plans to mess with it? Perhaps a tune? Tougher springs?
এটা আসলে কিছু করার নাই. It's the way it is. আসলে you can't necessarily modify a Chinese SUV, if that makes sense. It's the way it is, and I don't.
Cosmetics?
Nah. I like the way it is.
One final question. What words of wisdom will you have for anyone looking to buy a brand new car of the Chinese variety?
I think it varies from different consumers because অনেকজনের different demand and ই থাকতে পারে যে আমার এটা লাগবে ওটা লাগবে না like that. But I feel from a consumer point of view you have to go and drive the car and see how they are. অনেক ক্ষেত্রে আমরা বাইরে থেকে আর ভিতরে গাড়ি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করি না, but I feel like when you're paying so much money for a car you should go experience and see how the cars actually are. And just একটা যে add করতে চাই, a brand new car is a brand new